Today's passage is Hebrews chapter 11 verse 32 to chapter 12 verse 2, and the church remembers the beheading of John the Baptist. Today is the last daily thought for the day. From next week we will have a thought for the week posted on Wednesdays. We've been going for quite a long time, since the 18th of March in fact. So I can look back and confirm that we talked about John the Baptist on his main festival, 24th of June, when we remember his birth. Today we commemorate the other end of his earthly life. And we make a point of this really because John's death foreshadowed Jesus' own death. John was the forerunner, and we usually think of this in terms of his preaching repentance to prepare people for the coming of Jesus. But John was a forerunner in his death as well. He too was killed in a humiliating way, indirectly a punishment for teaching purity and repentance. John spoke out fearlessly against evil, and part of that was to criticise Herod Antipas, who married his brother's wife. Her anger was not satisfied until she'd engineered the situation where she got her daughter to ask for John's head on a platter. Herod, albeit unwillingly, felt bound by a foolish promise to the girl and gave her this wish. Later on, Pontius Pilate, also unwillingly but under pressure, gave in to those who hated Jesus and let him be put to death. Jesus would have seen the significance of John's death, and his ministry entered a new phase at this point. He was not deterred from his mission. He continued with renewed vigour. So today's reading is from Hebrews, which celebrates the great people of faith in the past, and the writer reaches a great climax of enthusiasm about those who endured extraordinary trials and yet held fast to their faith. None of them saw a complete fulfilment of their faith. Even John didn't. He knew Jesus, but he didn't live to see the resurrection or the birth of the church at Pentecost. So we hear the great call of chapter 12, surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses, all who've gone before us, the communion of saints. Let us run with perseverance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith. We have endured trials this year. No doubt there are more trials to come. And one of them is the uncertainty that we suffer from, the sense of insecurity that we can't plan the future in the usual way, or any plans have to be provisional. But actually this is always the case. We don't really know what's going to happen. We perhaps kid ourselves that we can even control the future, but that's an illusion. But whatever does come to pass will not be any worse than people have endured before. We don't know the route of the race that is set before us, before you and before me, but we can still run it, step by step, looking not behind at the past, not down at the scary present, but looking ahead, looking up to Jesus, the pioneer who goes before us, who has been here before. He knows the way. He is the way. He is our companion on the way. May you know him as your companion, the one who breaks bread with you day by day, in whatever trials you face, and may you run with joy as well as perseverance.